Well, as somebody once said, children now become gray at 3. They have acquired so much information about the world by the age of 3 that they're in a sense senile. And this vast amount of data that they are fed daily by TV upsets their attention span, for example. One of the effects of TV is to shorten the amount of time that people can pay attention to anything. And so young people today in America, for example, have very, very short attention span. They have to change the subject or whatever they're talking about very quickly. There's a new kind of humor that exists in America called the one-liner. We used to have jokes, stories, but no more, only one-liners now, and there isn't time to tell jokes in America. And nobody would be listening at the end of the joke.
There have been calls here for bans on advertising during children's programs. Do you agree with that?
This raises another great big subject. Advertising is the major art form of the 20th century. It is really a very high art form which has got misclassified as merely commercial. Children love advertising because the ads are better made than the programs. And any child spontaneously watches advertisements preferably to the program, simply because the advertisement is better made. Yes. Yeah, go ahead.
If broadcasting is such a potent medium as you've suggested, do you think broadcasters should be allowed to regulate themselves, as has been suggested in an inquiry here?
Yes, I think that's the desirable pattern, instead of censorship from the outside. But what is needed is not only concern about the regulation of programs and content, but regulation of the media themselves. Because since these forms, like press, radio, television, since these forms represent really huge extensions of our own bodies and our own nervous systems, we need a kind of ecology or equilibrium or balance among all these services. Otherwise, we get hopelessly lopsided. And what's wrong with television is the kind of effect it has on people's nervous systems. And it's not the program that is unsettling or dangerous. It is simply the complete disruption of the human nervous system by this potent drug.
Do you think there should actually be controls on the amount of television people can see, not exactly what they see?
And the amount that is in relation to other media like radio and press and well, telephone as far as that goes. But there needs to be a kind of interplay among all of the media, just as we are looking for a balance in the environment. The media are themselves a very large part of the environment. And they need to be regulated according to their kinds of effects they have on people. And the programs are very, very incidental. It doesn't much matter what shows you put on. It's the medium itself that has the big impact.
We think there could be a case then for decreasing the amount of television transmission time?
In relation to other media, like print and radio and so on, there should be a balance. Diet, yes.
You've said a lot about the effect of television on children. Just what children are getting the information from television. Is there a case for them still to go to school?
The school represents a kind of organizing of interests and activities that needs an ecological balance too with the other media. The extracurricular activities of TV and radio have become so vast that I think they overbalance the school altogether. The classroom becomes a real problem, and the city itself outside the classroom now has all the answers, and the classroom no longer has anything comparable to the answers that are outside the classroom. Ivan Illich did a book about this called Deschooling, in which he argued that we should close the schools now because they're obsolete. But I think that what is needed is that the schools use their space and their time for questions and dialogue rather than just feeding out answers and just specialist data. However, that's a big subject. But there is this need for balance between the information available in the classroom and the information that the children all pick up outside the classroom. I don't think it's being manipulated, no, by advertising. It's to him it's play as much as anything.
So you don't think there's a case for banning advertisements during children's programs?
I think it's a subject that needs lots of talking over, yes. It's not a simple subject. I don't think very many people have thought about advertising as a serious art form. The great folklore of the 20th century is advertising.
Thanks very much.
Just look at the reporter.
If you just look at me, so this is, we can cut
Yeah.
parts of it together.
Okay.